I am Mo Johnson, and this is your WTRT Tigers Roar news for Wednesday, April 13th. There's a lot going on in the world today. Political scientists are closely tracking Russia's war on Ukraine, launched in February of 2022 after a months-long military buildup. What does this moment mean for Ukraine's sovereignty, Europe's security, and the United States leadership? A Ukraine military official says that Mariupol remains surrounded and under siege by Russian forces. As many as 22,000 people may have died. Russian President Vladimir Putin claims that peace talks with Ukraine are at a dead end as news reports of sexual violence and rape surface. Mike Valario breaks down the latest.
As Russian tanks move through Mariupol, smoke billowing above the ruins, a Ukrainian military official now says up to 22,000 people may have died in the city. Those who survived described their homes turned into a hellscape.
All the buildings, including ours, our 9-story building, and all the buildings were destroyed or had holes in them. There were dead bodies in the streets.
You've seen the images yourself. You've seen the devastation that Russian airstrikes have wrought on Mariupol and the city, but our assessment is that the Ukrainians are still fighting for it.
American and Ukrainian officials have not confirmed recent reports of a possible Russian chemical attack on Mariupol. Meantime, Russian President Vladimir Putin said today that peace talks with Ukraine are now at, quote, a dead end.
I have no doubt the objectives are clear and the objectives are noble. I said that at the very beginning. I draw your attention to the fact that in my very first speech, in my address to the nation and the army, I stated the objectives.
Those objectives, Putin suggested, are now narrowed to focus on the Donbas region, rather than occupying all of Ukraine. The country's First Lady, Olena Zelenska, spoke through an interpreter, telling CNN how she and her family continue through the atrocities.
It's like walking a tightrope. If you start thinking, how do you do it, you lose time and balance. So to hold on, you just must go ahead and do what you do.
I'm Mike Valario reporting.
In national headlines, there is a manhunt in New York City for a gunman. New York City police have announced a person of interest in connection with Tuesday morning's subway shooting in Brooklyn. Investigators say they're looking for Frank James and are asking the public to call NYPD Crime Stoppers with any information on his current whereabouts. Gloria Pazmino is on the ground in Brooklyn with the latest.
Chaos erupting on a New York subway train. People cover their faces and panic as smoke begins to fill the car.
As soon as the smoke flared up, it started to engulf everything.
A shooter donning a gas mask deployed a smoke canister on a Brooklyn subway Tuesday morning, wounding multiple people with gunfire.
There was blood on the floor. There was a lot of blood trailing on the floor. And at the time, in the moment, I did not think that it was a shooting because it sounded like fireworks. All I saw were people trampling each other, trampling over each other, trying to get through to the door, which was locked, and there was just a lot of panic.
Investigators say there is no known motive for the shooting at this time.
That there are currently no known explosive devices on our subway trains, and this is not being investigated as an act of terrorism at this time. We can also report that although this was a violent incident, reportedly we have no one with life-threatening injuries as a result of this case.
In New York, I'm Gloria Pazmino.
On Monday, the White House announced new gun control actions, including cracking down on so-called untraceable ghost guns, forcing licensed gun dealers to keep gun purchase records in perpetuity, and providing gun buyers information to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. Additionally, the Biden administration will require licensed firearm dealers to keep key records until they shut down or end license activity, at which time all records must be transferred to the ATF. President Biden's executive action does not require passage from Congress. The executive action is sure to be challenged in the court on grounds that the president does not have the authority to take such action unilaterally. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki told reporters Monday that the administration believes the rules passed constitutional and legal muster. President Biden will also nominate Steve Dettelbach to serve as director of the ATF. In state and local news, Governor Brian Kemp signed a bill into law Tuesday afternoon allowing Georgia residents to carry handguns in public without a license or background check. Republicans have said SB 319, or the Georgia Constitutional Carry Act, is needed to allow people to more easily protect themselves following a rise in crime. Democrats say it does away with a background check that was triggered by the license application, arguing that it will fuel more shooting deaths. Ahead of Tuesday's bill signing ceremony, Savannah Mayor Van Johnson said he and other mayors from the state penned an open letter to Kemp asking him not to sign off on the bill. Savannah Mayor Van Johnson stated, "If this bill becomes law, it simply becomes easier for people with a criminal history to purchase a gun through a private sale to carry a weapon in our community without any background check." Prior to SB 319, Georgia required people to obtain a license to carry a loaded handgun outside their own homes, businesses, or cars. Although people could carry rifles and shotguns in many places without a permit and carry unloaded weapons in gun cases. In SSU campus news, the U.S. Department of Education has awarded Savannah State University a grant for over $830,000 for a new computer science technology degree program. The degree track offered will be a modeling and simulation program that aims to increase the number of minorities, women, and disabled students in the computer science field, which remains underrepresented. In a statement, the president of Savannah State University, Kimberly Ballard Washington, said, "I remain proud of the hard work and dedication of our faculty as they acquire external support for our academic programs. Thanks to this federal grant, we will be able to continue to equip our graduates with the critical skills required as they prepare for careers in computer science." Savannah State University is one of the few historically black colleges and universities on the East Coast to offer a modeling and simulation degree track in the computer science technology program. Savannah State women's tennis ended the best season the program has seen in over 2 decades on Sunday, following a 5-2 win over the number 2 seeded Albany State on Saturday in a semifinal game. On Sunday, in a battle for the 2022 Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference women's tennis title, number 3 seeded Savannah State fell to the number 1 seed Benedict 2-5. Savannah State closes the season with a runner-up trophy and a 14-7 overall record, the best finish for the program since the 1998 team won the SIAC championship. Gabrielle Benn has been named the 2022 Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference Women's Tennis Player of the Year, according to a press release from the conference office on Saturday morning. Benn, in her first year at Savannah State, finished the regular season 11-2 in the first court of singles action. Against SIAC opponents in a single play, she was undefeated. In the first court doubles, Benn teamed up with her sister, Amalia, this season finishing 7-6 overall and 6-1 in conference play. The Benn sisters, along with Julia Ramos Bentham, were all named to the 2022 SIAC All-Conference list. Amalia Benn finished 6-2 in conference action. Bentham finished 5-2 against SIAC opponents. Savannah State Tennis wrapped up a historic regular season last week, finishing 13-6 overall. And finally, the National Institutes of Health, along with the Association of Public Health Laboratories, are working to streamline the reporting of COVID-19 tests as more people use at-home tests. Public health experts have grown concerned about the lack of reporting of at-home results, leading to an undercount of the true number of COVID cases in the U.S. The National Institutes of Health and Association of Public Health Laboratories have teamed up to improve the reporting of COVID-19 test results between at-home test manufacturers and public health authorities. This approach still relies on people to use at-home tests to self-report their results to manufacturers, but the Association of Public Health Laboratories officials hope their system will make the process more efficient. Experts say anyone who has COVID-19 symptoms, even just a sniffle, should get tested. Philadelphia will reinstate its indoor mask mandate as of Monday, April 18th. The city will move to its second level of COVID-19 restrictions, which requires Philadelphians to wear masks in indoor public places. The city is now averaging 142 new cases per day. Nationally, cases are trending upward in more than half of states. This has been your WTRT Tiger Roars News for Wednesday, April 13th. I am Mo Johnson.